Okay, we are here and we have Tiffany as our guest tonight. She started not that long ago. How long ago now, Tiffany?
On the 26th will be 3 months.
Yeah, and she has grown tremendously. She has 26 ambassadors, and
Yep.
her PV is always about 1,000 a month or higher. And so we're going to learn some tips from her tonight, and I will start with some questions, and then we'll open it up at the end to ask her some questions that I might not have asked her for y'all guys. So first question, what did you do to build belief in Plexus when you first started?
So, I really just was signing up to get the discount and to try the products. And then I really started to get on YouTube and look at testimonials and just really fell in love with people's stories. And it just touched me so deeply that I felt that I could really help people and grow in this business. I knew so many people just going through my head that, had different things that I knew that I could help with and motivate people. So I guess just the testimonials from the beginning, and I just immediately was hooked and believed in the product. And I actually believed in it before I even tried it.
I think that was the most phenomenal for me, because it first started out is that you wanted to try the trial. You were like, I'm just going to try the 7 days. Cassey, I don't want anything else. We're just going to do the 7 days. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then literally a few minutes later, she's like, let's do it. I'm all in. And I'm like, what? What? Okay. And so it was just that funny transition to see you, but I have been seeing that transition since. I mean, you have just grown tremendously, and your belief is insane, and I love it.
Thanks.
So after you started and before you even got the products, I know you did the challenge. Did you think that challenge helped you build even more belief in the product and in the business?
I think it didn't necessarily give me more belief in the product, but it gave me more courage to step out and actually be able to talk to people, as far as posting on Facebook and doing the follow-ups and cold messaging. That was huge to learn. I'm really excited right now. I'm doing my second challenge, and both of them have been so different and have opened me up tremendously. So I'm thankful that I took that time to really step out of my box and do that, because when you first asked me to do that challenge, I really didn't want to, but after a couple of days, I was so glad I did.
I think a lot of us think that way because it's out of our comfort zone. It's not in our routine. We're like, oh my goodness, we need to add another hour somewhere into our day. And
Yeah.
that's how I was when I did my challenge, when Jana had asked me. And at that point, I was overwhelmed. I had a lot going on. We were building a house and everything, but I still think that helped me tremendously to get to where I'm at now. So I love the challenges. So I wanted to see if that was something that helped you. And
Definitely.
do you think that's something that you want to carry on throughout all of your ambassadors, to try to get them to do a challenge? Do you think that helped enough?
When you asked me to do the second challenge, I wanted to for sure for myself, because I was kind of in a little slump, and I figured that why not push it a little bit further, because I really want to go gold this month. Right. So I thought that if I went into this next challenge and I brought a few of my team members on, that maybe we could all grow together. So I actually have 3 ambassadors under me that are doing this challenge, and I'm so happy that they're part of that, and I can see their business growing as well. So that's exciting.
So next question I know that everyone wants to ask, how in the world did you build belief into your new ambassadors that you already have, into getting them to already doing challenges and the incentives and everything? What do you think you might have said to them to build that belief already?
I think them just seeing me be consistent and always staying positive and trying to move forward. I think that I touch base with my ambassadors, especially the ones that are growing in the business. I try to touch base with them every day or every other day, and I'm just really trying to push them to move forward. And they see me growing so quickly, and they want to be part of that. It's contagious. So when you're around positive people and you see this big growth, of course you want to be on that bandwagon. Bring me along, right?
Right.
So
that was another question that I was going to ask was how often do you follow up with your ambassadors? But you said daily.
I have 3 to 4 people that are really wanting to push the business. There's more people that want the business, but those are the ones that I truly see. They're kind of my dream team members. So I try to follow up with them as much as possible. And if they have any questions, I try to have as quick response as possible, because not only do I want my business to grow quickly, but I would love to see them grow with me as well. So I definitely try to follow up as much as possible. Now, my other ambassadors, I try to touch base right now about once a week and just see if there's anything that they're having problems with, or trying to get the motivation under them to make their first post, because I'm still waiting on a few of those people that want to sell to actually step out and make that post. So hopefully soon everyone will be on board with that.
Oh, I bet with your enthusiasm, it won't be long. What is probably, when you're reaching out to somebody, what is, obviously everybody's message to somebody is going to be different. So can you give us an example of what you've been using as an average that most people have been responding to?
Like a cold message, or?
Well, let's start with cold messages and go from there.
Okay. So I guess just I've been doing a lot of silent stalking on Facebook, and I see people posting stuff like, oh, I'm so tired, blah, blah, blah. I've had this horrible headache, which to me is an open invitation to talk about Plexus. So, I write them and I'm like, hey, I saw, that you're having a rough day today. You have this horrible headache. I used to suffer with that as well. And I have found a product that truly has blessed me. And, have you ever heard of Plexus, or have you seen Plexus post? Is it something that, you'd like to learn more about? And kind of just touch base on what I read on their page, and then touch base on a little bit of personal with them, because everyone likes that personal touch. And, I'd say 3 out of 5 times I get a response. Of course, you always get the crickets. That's normal. But I feel like because I touch base on a personal level, that I get a lot of good responses. So, yeah.
I think that's what a lot of us are doing. There just must be some more enthusiasm or something, or maybe, I don't know. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Oh, here's another one. What does your daily schedule look like for Plexus right now? Like, how many hours do you think you're spending in the business? And I know, but that one.
When I'm home in St. Louis, I am able to freely spend more time throughout the day. Right now I'm in Kansas, and I'm working full-time in the salon with my 2 kids here. And so it's been a little harder, and I'm sure you guys have noticed my posts for Plexus have been very sparse. But I'm touching base more one-on-one with people while I'm here. I don't know that I could literally tell you how much time I spend a day. I feel like it's nonstop right now, but I'm like always available to my team. And if anyone responds to my messages, I try to get back to them as soon as possible. So right now, really, it's any time of day, whatever's going to get me and my team where we need to be. So I don't really have a set time.
Yeah. So it's sporadic. Pretty much when somebody needs you, you're right there.
Exactly.
Got it. The other thing, if you were training your team on duplication, what is the one thing you want them to do that would be duplicable?
I think my 2 biggest things is consistency. You have to be consistent, whether it's with your own posts. You have to be a product of the product. So if you're not being consistent with taking your products, you're not going to see the result, and people aren't going to see that. So being consistent with everything that you're doing with Plexus. And then the other thing is giving that personal touch. If I have a customer that I'm working on, I'm literally stalking their page all the time, not necessarily touching base with them, but stalking their page because I want to know what they're doing, and I want more tidbits to pull out of their page so that I know exactly what to tell them and how to talk to them when I am talking to them. Because when you add in that personal touch, I feel like it just means so much more, and they're more apt to joining my team.
Exactly. When you're trying to find somebody that is a customer or an ambassador, what are the things that you're looking for that you want them to be an ambassador? What are you saying to them to get them to want to sign up to be an ambassador? Is there anything that stands out to you?
July was easy to get ambassadors for me. I signed up 11 ambassadors in July alone. And with that sale that went on, I mean, it was silly not for people to sign up as an ambassador, whether they wanted the business or just the deep discount. So that one was easy for me. Now that I'm learning a little bit more about, you know, the point value and the retail versus preferred customer versus ambassador, you know, I'm touching base a little bit closer now on what's going to benefit that person the most now that I understand it more. So I guess, you know, I just try to look at their life, what they're doing, if they're just looking for the product, or if I think it's going to be something that they are going to want to sell, or if how their following is on Facebook. If they have a bunch of friends and I think they're going to be willing to post, then of course I'm going to try to convince them to be an ambassador, because most of my clients or people under me, they're at least on a triplex where they're getting paid off their own products. So why not do it and earn 15% back? So I guess I just really, again, look into their personal side and see their following and what their job is, what kind of, you know, one-on-one thing they have with other people. Now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. When you're reaching out to them, what do you find that's most effective? The voice messages or just typing anything out?
I do a lot of just typing, but I also am in my car a lot. So I find that the voice messaging is great because, one, they can hear my enthusiasm and I get really excited about stuff. So I think that people like to hear the excitement because then it gets them excited about it. So those are my two main things. Since I've been here, though, in the salon, I've been making meetings with people and talking one-on-one, face-to-face. And I'm sure you guys can see with my point value that I'm at this month, that's been very successful for me.
I think one-on-one is huge. It just is so hard for some of us, especially for me. And you can understand this as being military and moving a lot. It's hard to do that one-on-one. So I try to do the voice message as much as possible. But I think one-on-one is powerful. So I think the more times you can do that, the more times you can get somebody to be able to try. I think that's the main ones that I had. So I'm going to open it up for Carol and Kayleen and see what y'all have any questions, ladies?
You pretty much asked everything that I was thinking.
I tried to write down the same ones that I was wanting to ask too. So, Kayleen, do you have anything?
I don't. My hardest part is getting any of my ambassadors motivated. I have 18 level 1.
Wow.
And not a one is selling. Not a one is selling, and a couple of them I think have stopped using the products. And it's really hard to get them. I'm just praying that the Lord will send me some that really are anxious to do the business.
Well, I will tell you, out of my, I think, 26 ambassadors, I have one under me that's really working the business right now. And she's doing awesome. I have a couple more that are right there. They're trying so hard. And just be consistent. That's all I can say is keep motivating them. Keep reaching out and asking if there's anything you can help with. You know, if they have someone that they're talking to, I try to figure out what it is that they're looking for so that I can help send them testimonials or I'm just trying to really reach out and help them grow, because in the end, it's going to help me grow. So
I have a lot of mine that they will get started. I have trouble with some of them being consistent, of course, with the product, so I have to keep them motivated there. But also, I have a lot of them that have gone flatline, which is okay, except for a lot of them, they're like, oh my goodness, I just can't afford to order the products every month. But that's probably one of my biggest roadblocks, is they feel they can't afford it.
So I hear that a lot, and then I just remind them that if they can sign up 3 people under them, then they have the opportunity for their products to be covered. And it's not so easy, but it is so easy to find 3 people to get to sign up under you. Those first 3 people.
Facebook. I don't have any that I posted on Facebook.
Yeah. It's hard when you have that, because you need that one business builder just to start. And I know it's so hard to get that one person to start. But just like I said, just keep being consistent and reminding them, do you want your products paid for this month? This is all you have to do. Let's pray together and let's get this moving forward. So
I think that's the biggest thing, because I have one that was all gung-ho, ready, and then has fallen off and then coming back.
Yeah.
I think as long as you're consistent with them and let them know, not in a pushy way, you love them, you care about them, you're here when they're ready. Because I think that their timing is key. Because it might not be their time right now for this business. It may be a month from now. But as long as they know that you're there for them, that's going to be powerful. So just keep checking up on them, making sure that, you can be there. And I bet you're doing that. And they might just need to see somebody growing and quickly to be able to do that themselves. Sometimes you have to kind of witness that to decide. But trying to think of other questions to ask now. Goodness.
I have one. What about like whenever you get crickets and just people they saw the message, but they just don't respond? How often after that do you check back with them?
Tiffany, I'll let you go first, and then I'll tell you mine.
So a cricket to me is not a no. So until they physically tell me no, I'm going to keep following up, and I'm going to keep sending them information until they give me a physical no. And, I try to follow up every few days or at least once a week, and I find another piece of information that I'm like, oh, I just saw this and I thought of you. Let me share this with you. Please watch this video, or, and I see that they keep seeing it, but they keep not saying anything, but I'm going to keep pushing it until they tell me no.
Have you had any success with it yet doing that, or no?
I have. Actually, Jessica, one of my ambassadors now, I was getting that from her, and it was the silent crickets, and then she would change the subject to something else. And I knew it was her husband holding her back. It was intriguing to her, but I knew she was questioning if her husband was going to be okay with it. I was just consistent, and finally it was the right time. It's exactly what you said. It's all about the timing. Every person is on a different path, and it might be something. It was kind of like when you asked me back in December. It wasn't my time. I wasn't interested. And then when I decided I need to do something, you're the first person I thought of, because I'm a breastfeeding mother, and I knew I wanted to do something, and I needed something all natural that I could do breastfeeding. And I thought, well, what was that thing that Cassey asked me about way back when that was all natural? And you asked me, so it was in my head. So that's my thing, is you just got to be consistent, because they're listening, they're watching, they're reading. We all know that because we can see it. So that's huge.
Yeah, what I do is when I get crickets, and I've had some where I'm looking, I'm like, oh my goodness, I bothered this person, like, it looks like 10 times. And
Yeah.
I think it's like bothering. But again, they're either still liking a picture, or sometimes when I do get a message back, it's like, I really appreciate and I love your posts. I truly love all of your posts. I love what you're doing. I've read up on it. It's just, it's not good for me at this moment. And I always am like, thank you so much for at least telling me, because now I know. And I said, you know, I appreciate everything that you've done for me so far, and, you know, wish them well. But kind of what Tiffany said is I do the same thing. Is there's one particular person that has horrible kidney stuff going on, and all these things going on. And I finally wrote her back. She saw it. I haven't gotten her to, you know, comment back, but I sent her testimonies. I sent her, you know, please, I want you to hear my heart. I want you to know that I truly know this could truly help you, and that I'm here for you. And I sent her the testimony, and I just prayed. And then one day when her time is right, she'll respond. But I think as long as we're not like every day or every 3 days bothering somebody, because that's what bothered me about the business is in the beginning, my sister is the one that introduced me to it a year and a half ago now, almost 2. But the way that she did it was pestering to me. So it was more like, well, you have to do this. You need to do this. You've got to do it right now. So I'm trying, in the way that I respond, I'm trying not to repeat that, because I know how badly it impacted me. But me and my sister don't have a great connection either. So I think it depends on the person as well.
Yeah.
But for us, it takes what, 10 no's to get a yes. It literally took me that many no's to finally get into this business. I don't know how many people had talked to me about it that I literally was like, I'm sorry, but no, thank you. Like, leave me alone about it. I was nice about it, but I did not want to hear anything about it, because with my disease, I had tried everything. I was just ready to go have my another surgery, because I knew that would help me for a year, and then I would be fine, and then do it all over again. And it's just, I think God finally put it in my path at the right time with the right person, because Jana brought it up to me differently. She cared about me. And it wasn't every day. It was almost every 3 or 4 days, or when we saw each other. She was like, Cassey, I truly believe this could truly help you. And I'm willing to help you in this. And the way that she brought it up to me was different. So I always encourage my team members to talk that way to somebody, you know, like Tiffany said, build that belief in them that, you know, you're there for them. You want to help them, and bring that personal connection, because I think that's huge. It helped. That's what brought me into this business, was that personal connection and relationship. So when we talk about planting seeds, I plant seeds all the time, and I don't even bring up Plexus sometimes until like a month later, because I know they're seeing my stuff. And I just got that recently. I think I messaged maybe 150 people the last couple of days, because I'm like leaders retreat. And I finally got several back there. We're like, we love your posts. We love everything about it. It's just not our time. It's not our thing right now. But I appreciate that. It's not their time. And so once we figure that out, but we planted that seed. So a year from now, like Tiffany, when she's ready, when it's her time, they'll come back. So they'll remember you. But anyway, do y'all have any other questions? Oh, I did have one. How did you improve your PV by hundreds in 3 days? Hundreds.
Well, that was just determination. You know, I don't really know how it happened. I knew that I had to get 1,000 PV, and I was at like 500 and something, and I just followed up like crazy. And then I set this crazy goal of this month that I was going to get 2,500 PV. I'm sitting here like, oh, this isn't going to happen. This is crazy. Like, that was a crazy goal. And here I am now at 1,600 and something halfway through the month. And I'm like, maybe it is going to happen. Maybe it wasn't so crazy. But, you know, I think it was just, in my heart, I told myself I needed this. I had to do this. I'm going to help these people. And I learned that was me learning the business is I kept trying to get ambassadors. And then I'm like, well, I need to actually focus on getting customers, because I wasn't doing that the first couple of months. So that last 3 days of July, I had to go from 500 and whatever, 515, I think, to I ended up with 1,010. And it was in 3 days I did that, and I just followed up. I went through every single one of my messages, and if I had talked to someone, I followed up, and I just like this. And then this month, I was like, from day one, I'm going to start from day one of this month. And like I said, I'm right over 1,600 something right now. So I'm just consistently talking to people, and, you know, of course I want more ambassadors, but I'm letting people, now that I know the difference between the ambassador and the retail and the preferred, it's easier for me, like I said, to separate what's going to help that person, what's going to benefit that person. So it's easier for me to know the difference between that, and which helps your PV. So
is there any organizational thing that you keep track of, who you followed up with, or are you just going back through your messages?
You know, I have this handy dandy record book right here that I started out with, but then my mind goes a little quicker than my hands sometimes, so it's hard for me to write it all down. So this month I've just been keeping track on my Facebook Messenger, and I just try to be consistent where I look every day at who I've talked to. And, you know, if I talk to someone today, then I'll wait a couple of days to talk back. So unless they respond, of course. So, yeah.
That's good, because I think for me, I think everybody's going to learn what works for them. So for me, I did the same thing where I wrote everybody down. I was writing, okay, what we talked about, when should I follow up? And it got to where it wasn't working well for me. I was taking too much time doing that. But
Yeah.
I don't want to forget somebody. So that's the thing that I'm going back to, is that I noticed, oh, it's been a month since I followed back up with her. So I need to find that balance of what works that I can, because I do the same thing. I just go through my stuff, because I follow up with everybody just about once a week. And I try to go back through and see, okay, well, this was the last time I talked to Sarah Jane, and we go through and I talk to her, hey, how are you doing? Your kids look beautiful, you know, and that's it, just enough. Or I'll even go on their Facebook and I'll say, hey, you know, I love the new school picture that, you know, you just posted. He's so cute. Just so it remembers, oh, I forgot to respond to her. Because more than likely, that's what I get. I'm sorry, I've been so busy. I did see your message, but it's taken me, you know, a week to respond. So most of the times it's that. It's just making that, crap, I forgot to respond to her. So most of the times I try to go, before I message them again, if I've done it at least twice, I try to just go to their picture or something on their Facebook and respond to that first. But
Very good.
yeah. Kaylee, I'm so glad you were here. Do you have any other questions?
Thank you. No, y'all been wonderful.
Hey, well, I'm glad you liked it.
We have y'all at Sidelines. It's been so encouraging and supportive. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, we love our sidelines. Trust me. The other encouragement through the team. That's why I love that it's one plexus, because we truly are one plexus. And we're always here for each other. So,
Thank you.
Carol, do you have a question, or are you good?
I don't.
All right. Well, I hope we covered everything. And I'm going to end this call in a minute. And I love you guys. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
See you next weekend. Bye-bye.